This is a true story of one of the most powerful lions who was born to rule, coming of age and a powerful struggle of lion coalitions, and an example of human cruelty towards animals. Hwanghae National Park. Covering more than 14,600 square kilometers, it has more animals and a greater variety of species, 107 to be precise, than any other park in the country, and more than 400 species of birds. It is situated in the southwest of Zimbabwe, between Bulawayo and Victoria Falls. It is a picturesque scenic beauty. Let's find out the journey of Cecil, the legacy of a legend that was gone before his time. Cecil was first noticed in the dry winter season of 2008 with another lion, thought to be his brother. The pair was first sighted at a pan in the southern area of Hwanghae called Mangi Shoal. The brothers were named after two powerful white men, Cecil Rhodes, a mining tycoon and a politician in South Africa, and Leander Starr Jameson, the second administrator of Rhodesia. Cecil was fearless and the biggest in the block, and the two brothers often spotted playing and wrestling. Then estimated to be about 5 years old, Cecil and Leander were rather nervous, lacking confidence and seeking out hunting grounds to try and establish a pride of their own. In time, they became braver and moved into a main study area, where Cecil was caught and collared for the first time. He was being studied and tracked by a research team of the University of Oxford as part of a long-term study. The Mangisho boys, as they became known, took over a pride in Nwagashala and started a new generation of little lions. He was enjoying life as a real king of the jungle, with his harem of lioness and cubs running around. He was living a king-sized life. A very cute picture of Cecil sleeping on an elephant carcass, surrounded by lioness and cubs. Picture perfect. Despite his prowess as a fighter, Cecil was confident but not aggressive. He was not really playful, more bigger. He was a lion and he knew it. And everyone else be damned. He was the biggest cat on the block and he knew that as well. During that time, the two brothers encountered an established pride. The fierce battle between the brothers and the four male lions started. You can imagine what kind of scene it must have been when 6 large male lions fought. Brute strength, aggression, the bellow and the thunder of lions, roaring and blood. Cecil managed to hold his ground and chase the brothers. But his brother Leander died in the battle, and the leader of the rivals group sustained critical injuries and ultimately had to be put down by park rangers. After his brother's death, Cecil left the area and he moved to another part of the park, where he eventually established his own pride with as many as 22 members. During 2013, Cecil was forced out from the area by 2 young male lions and into the eastern border of the park. There he created a coalition with another male lion named Jericho, another large lone male. The two had some history in the past. They fought over females and territory, meaning that they were not friends. Putting their differences aside, they joined forces and moved into the Somalisa concession. Jericho and legendary Cecil formed one of the most effective alliances Hwanghae had ever seen. They are expressing to the females in the area that they are looking to grow their pride. At the same time, the roar expresses to the males they are ready to take over by any means necessary. When a lion roars, it reverberates in your being and strikes fear into your soul. You understand instantly why they are at the top of the food chain. The louder and more intimidating they sound, the more they appeal to the lioness of the area. But even though Cecil and Jericho were a strong force together, unrest and turmoil still arose between the boys. They had many fights in the time they reigned. with so much testosterone hanging in the air, dominance over food and females. But they had found each other. They knew they were stronger together than they ever would be apart. Cecil and Jericho were on top, kings of Somalisa. They had half a dozen of females and up to a dozen cubs served by either Cecil or Jericho. Once again, they were living the perfect life in Somalisa, and both of them occupying two territories with a large pride, surrounded by female lioness and numerous cubs. Cecil was so prominent that many travelers came from far and wide to see him, the epitome of what you would expect a lion to represent. Cecil wasn't particularly afraid of humans either, and seemed willing to play his part in the park as an icon. With a thick black mane and mighty frame, with golden eyes that looked right through you and confidence unparalleled, he was a sight to behold, a legend of the land. In July 2015, Cecil had been in the north of the park for over a month. That was the infamous moment where Cecil met his unfair and cruel fate. Cecil was allegedly lured out of a protected national park with an elephant carcass before he was killed by a Minnesota dentist hidden in the branches of a nearby tree. Dr. Walter Palmer, who allegedly paid $50,000 for the hunt, loosed an arrow from his perch just outside Huanghe National Park, injuring the 12-year-old lion struggling to breathe. In the hours after he was shot, and Palmer finished him off nearly half-day later with a second arrow, and Cecil's body was then skinned and his head was removed. Many of the guides in the area have an affinity to Cecil. Guests would come from overseas to see this large force, and just like that, he was gone. It resulted in international media attention, caused outrage among animal conservationists, criticism by politicians and celebrities, and a strong negative response against the trophy hunter. Palmer was never charged with a crime, and as previously said, no one in his hunting party knew the lion he shot was the famed Cecil. Being such a marvel, Cecil leaves a legacy behind him that lives on. Cecil's cubs are in the Somalisa concession. The story of Cecil's pride continues. As the cubs grow up, they carry on the legend. As the pride shifts and changes, people from around the world come to see his legacy live on. Rest in peace, Cecil the Lion King. The natural law in lion society is that when a male dies and his weakened coalition is usurped, the new incoming males kill their predecessors' cubs. This may not happen because Cecil's partner Jericho was holding the fort till he died in 2016.